It's no secret that throughout the massively open world of Red Dead Redemption 2, there are locations memorable to those discovering them, but what some may not have noticed is that Rockstar Games didn't just take inspiration from the real world when it came to replicating towns and settlements, but also delved deeper by duplicating specific buildings and landmarks. Today, I have a list of 10 separate interests that do just that. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Filbee Gaming. If you enjoy the following, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, after watching, please consider doing so. With that being said, let's get into what we came here to see. 10 real world landmarks that you may not have realised were in Red Dead Redemption 2. Kicking things off with number 1, we have the Old Tomb. The Old Tomb is an ancient burial site situated in the Roanoke Ridge area of New Hanover. The altar, among various other objects that inhabit the site, such as a hatchet, helmet and comb, indicate that the strange formation of rockery was once inhabited by Vikings, a seafaring populace who voyaged around the world from the late 8th century to the 11th. Although primarily focused on pillaging parts of Europe, they were known to travel throughout other parts of the world, such as the Vinland, a coastal region now located as part of Canada and North America, amongst others. This takes us to its real-life counterpart. A site first took Mystery Hill before changing its title to America's Stonehenge in 1982, a term that was coined in a news article in the early 1960s, can be found nowadays as a privately owned tourist attraction and archaeological site in the town of Salem, New Hampshire, United States. Although the actual history of the formation of rockery is often skepticised, with many believing it to be from multiple eras, archaeologists, while testing using a radiocarbon analysis of charcoal on the site, proved that the Stonehenge occupancy dates back almost 4,000 years. It would be apparent that whomever the original occupants were, Rockstar chose to mimic the potential theory of the Viking era. Secondly, we'll be looking at the very mysterious site that's come to be called the Roanoke Ridge Meteorite, not the home but the open land instead. This site is one of catastrophe, and it's apparent that a meteorite has fallen from the sky, causing destruction to everything in close proximity to its landing. With these two sites, there's been speculation regarding a third meteorite landing somewhere in the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, but still, even after 6 years following its initial release, this third is yet to be uncovered. Its real-life counterpart seems to take inspiration primarily from two historical events, the Tunguska event and the Barringer meteor crater, one near the Podkamamaya Tunguska River in Russia and the other in Arizona, USA respectively. The Tunguska event occurred in 1908, flattening approximately 80 million trees across a little over 800 square miles, and the Barringer meteor crater, landing estimated some 50,000 years prior, made an impact of around 1.2 miles in diameter and almost 200 meters deep. Although it would seem pretty apparent that the landmarks are the result of fallen meteorites, there are some who speculate concerning the Tunguska that the impact was caused by a death ray experiment conducted by one Nikola Tesla, seemingly from the other side of the world. This particular mention takes us on over to our third installment of the video. At the very northern eastern regions of the map, the player will come across a large scientific research facility known to locals as Dover Hill. Most will firstly come across the building during their side quest featuring Marco Dragic titled A Bright Bouncing Boy. After assisting Mr. Dragic in attempting to coerce some investors into buying into his business, as Arthur or John, we are invited to his laboratory to assist further. This is a 3-part quest with fun elements, even if it ends under tragic circumstances. Some will recognise the Dover Hill structure as it's almost an exact replica of the Wardenclyffe Tower or the Tesla Tower, located in Shawshank, Long Island, New York. To add to this, Marco Dragic is also an obvious parody to Nikola Tesla. The theory that Tesla caused the Tunguska event reportedly came from Tesla conducting an experiment at the exact moment of Tunguska, where after sending millions of electrical volts into the skies above, read his aftermath readings on his equipment and simply muttered, "Uh-oh." During Chapter 3 of the main story of Red Dead Redemption 2, the gang head south to the warmer climate of Lemoyne, where they soon intertwine themselves in a feud between the Braithwaite family and the Greys. As Arthur, the player will visit both family homes whilst working one against the other. Although both families have distinctive looking houses, some, especially those hailing from Vacherie, Louisiana in the USA, may come to realise that the home of the Braithwaites looks somewhat familiar. At the latter of a very familiar looking tree line lies Oak Valley Plantation, a former sugar plantation, later turned property investment, then cattle ranch among other things. Oak Valley is considered the national landmark for its unique design, from its tree line approach to workhouses, and of course the distinctive looking Greek revival design of the main building. Players have no doubt spent a little time in Big Valley, West Elizabeth, or more specifically the small tourist town of Strawberry, as the main narrative has you travel there, and no doubt some of you may have spotted the quaint looking welcome centre atop the main stretch of road where the mayor and proprietor Nicholas Timmins currently resides. The town of Strawberry in itself seems to have taken inspiration from a couple of different locations, but primarily it appears to resemble a small town of the real-life Strawberry, El Dorado, in California, USA. Old photographs dating back to the late 1800s show familiar looking grounds that players of RDR2 would instantly recognise. There's even a lodge strongly resembling the Welcome Centre. Strawberry isn't the only town to not only have taken inspiration from a real life location, as Blackwater, West Elizabeth, does too. As the player enters the epilogue portion of the title, we're granted access to the more southern regions of the game, allowing us to explore the busy and upcoming small town. We also get to explore the same setting in the latter stages of the first Red Dead Redemption. The town of Blackwater takes heavy inspiration from the town of the same name in Missouri, USA. Many built-in infrastructures are almost identical, and the layout of the town is strikingly similar too. Founded by the Missouri Pacific Railroad, this once booming town began to decline in population as the railroad would later decline, only inhabited today according to a 2020 census of 170 people. The only major difference between the two is that in the video game, the town sits on a waterfront, where its real-life counterpart does not. Most of us have no doubt enjoyed a show or two at the Theatre Rallor, located in the largely inhabited city of Saint-Denis, Le Moyne, where acts such as Benjamin Lazarus, Robin Kininsky, or the mysterious mayor provide entertainment to the patrons. It's a fun pastime of the world if the player is in need of a break from the main narrative. The theatre is instantly recognisable by its appealing front, enticing passers-by to enter and enjoy the entertainment. Some, especially those native to New Orleans, the city in which Saint-Denis is based upon, may recognise this establishment as a strikingly similar replica to that of the real-world French Opera House, which stood in the French Quarter, having its main entrance on Bourbon Street. Unfortunately, the French Opera House would have to close its doors permanently following a fire that took hold in 1919, some 60 years after its opening. There's an abandoned structure in Red Dead Redemption 2 in the Roanoke region of New Hanover, just south of the Van Horn trading post. The structure, known locally as the Van Horn Mansion, is a 3-story complex including a basement overlooking the Lannahechee River. Originally, plans for the building were to be an extension of the Van Horn trading post, but much like its sibling, it shared its struggles. After the proprietors, assumingly Silas Crawford, abandoned the project, the place became inhabited by lowlifes and thieves. The mansion stands out against other structures for its unique design and location, and with the rear almost touching the waters, it's ideal for criminal activity, having the potential of illegal boat shipments coming and going. Its real-life counterpart tells something of a different story, and it seems the only similarity is the visual design itselth. In Natchez, Adams County, Mississippi, there stands an abandoned building that's off-limits to the general public, known as the Saragossa Plantation. Saragossa was once used as a cotton plantation, owned but not funded by one Stephen Duncan, a slaver who later became one of the wealthiest cotton plantation owners in the world. Although Rockstar Games have told a different story concerning this establishment, we can't deny the visual inspirations of the building. As we enter the second portion of the epilogue, John purchases the land of Beecher's Hope in Great Plains, where he plans to raise his family. Just outside of the property, at the end of a small stone wall, lies a distinctive looking tree known to locals as the Broken Tree. In the original Red Dead Redemption, this area was home of treasure, part 10 of The Hunt, and in RDR2 it's nothing more than a nice visual, but does that particular tree look familiar to some? Although no longer in existence, just off Pleasant Valley Road, Lucas, Ohio, there once stood the original inspiration for the Broken Tree, accompanied by a familiar looking stone wall leading to it. Even if you haven't visited the location itself, most will still recognise this particular site from the 1994 classic motion picture Shawshank Redemption, where character Ellis Boyd Redding, or Red, walks along the same wall to the tree. Due to this, the tree was later named as the Shawshank Oak tree, becoming a tourist attraction of the Shawshank Trail. Lastly today, we're heading back to the city of Saint-Denis. In the northern regions of the city, at Million Avenue I believe, players can find the specific building. At first glance, it doesn't appear to stand out as anything special, but upon closer inspection, you'll notice the surrounding metal fence to the property is actually in a design of stalks of corn. The design of this particular structure takes inspiration from an establishment named the Cornstalk Hotel, located on Royal Street, New Orleans. The layout of the building in RDR2 is similar, but the most distinctive feature is the replicated design of the fencing surrounding the property. The Cornstalk Hotel was founded in 1816 and is still under operation today. So that was 10 real-world landmarks in Red Dead Redemption 2 that you may not have realised were actually there. Did you know any of the locations mentioned today, or was this all new to you? Let me know in the comment section. If you guys wish to see a second video showcasing further replicated establishments and such, you all know what to do. Thanks for watching, you've been listening to Phil of Filbee Gaming, and I'll see you in the next video.